Virgo horoscope. Saturn retrograde in the path to emotional mastery August 23rd, 2025 to February 13th, 2026. Responsibility doesn't weigh you down. It lifts you up when it's aligned with your truth. Welcome, Virgo, the meticulous, grounded, and service-oriented soul of the zodiac. You're the one others lean on. You analyze, support, and perfect everything you touch. But now the cosmos turns inward, asking, who supports you? Who takes care of the caretaker? Beginning August 23rd, 2025, Saturn, the planet of structure, karma, and responsibility, enters retrograde motion, and for you, it lands squarely in your 5th house. This is the realm of children, creativity, joy, romantic relationships, and personal expression. This Saturn retrograde may feel like a pause, a review, or a karmic checkpoint, especially in areas where you've poured your heart, time, or money. Let's dive into what this means for your life, one layer at a time. 1. Duties of the heart. Children, dependents, and responsibilities. The 5th house is known as the house of joy, but Saturn is a planet of duty. That creates a paradox. What happens when responsibility and joy must live together? During this retrograde, you'll continue to carry responsibilities related to children, pets, or younger dependents. But you'll start to feel a sense of emotional release, as though some of the burdens you've carried are finally easing. You may begin to see the rewards of your sacrifices, though they won't come all at once. Example: let's say you've spent the past 2 years caring for a child with special needs, or a beloved pet that needed constant attention. During this Saturn retrograde, support may finally arrive from a sibling, a partner, or even an institution. Advice: don't give up on the slow burn of progress. Saturn's rewards are gradual but lasting. 2. Romance rewritten. Healing relationships and emotional distance. Saturn in the 5th can sometimes feel like a pause in your romantic life. But when it retrogrades, it brings back old stories in love, ones you thought were finished. You may notice a past romantic partner reappears, or you find yourself reflecting deeply on a prior relationship. Tension in current relationships eases, especially if both parties are open to emotional maturity, a chance to rebuild trust or renegotiate boundaries. Example: you had a breakup last year that left emotional scars. Now you unexpectedly bump into that person or get a message. But instead of drama, the energy feels calmer. You're both more grounded. Advice: use this time for closure, healing, or mature reconnection. But don't rush into reconciliation just for comfort. Saturn wants growth, not repetition. 3. Financial responsibilities. Kids, education, and investments. The 5th house also rules speculative income and expenses linked to children, hobbies, and leisure. During Saturn retrograde, your financial focus sharpens but also tightens. Expect financial obligations related to tuition fees, extracurriculars, childcare, or even pet care. A review of past investments, particularly in high-risk ventures or creative projects. A need to rebudget or refinance larger expenses tied to children or dependents. Example: you may need to revisit your child's educational plan. Maybe you're paying for private school, and suddenly an unexpected cost appears, like a study abroad program or special equipment. Advice: be conservative with speculative spending. Focus on long-term value rather than short-term fun. 4. Creativity under pressure. Rebuilding your inner artist. While the 5th house is often tied to fun, art, and leisure, Saturn's retrograde can feel like your creative flame flickering. But don't worry, it's not dying. It's restructuring. You may feel frustrated that your creative output feels blocked or not good enough, tempted to abandon hobbies or artistic work, or suddenly drawn to finish an old project, a novel, a painting, a business idea you once left incomplete. Example: you find an old sketchbook or a half-written song from years ago. Reading it again, you realize it still has power. And this time, you're willing to commit to finishing it. Advice: focus on discipline over inspiration. Create even when you're not in the mood. Saturn wants to make your talent sustainable, not just spontaneous. 5. Mental and emotional healing. Easing the inner weight. One of the gifts of the Saturn retrograde is emotional clarity. While responsibilities don't disappear, you may start to feel lighter mentally, as if the emotional weight you've carried begins to lift. Discover spiritual tools like meditation, mindfulness, or even Buddhist teachings that help you process long-standing emotional pain. Forgive yourself for not being perfect. Example, you've blamed yourself for not being the perfect parent or perfect partner. But during this retrograde, you begin to shift, realizing that showing up consistently is more important than being flawless. Advice: let go of guilt. Saturn is teaching you to be gentle but firm with others and with yourself. 6. Teamwork troubles. Managing people and power dynamics. If you're a Virgo managing a team, assistants, or household helpers, Saturn retrograde could highlight cracks in the structure. You might face miscommunications with subordinates, disappointment with team members not pulling their weight, power struggles or misalignment in shared responsibilities. Example, your assistant keeps missing deadlines, or your team becomes disorganized. Instead of lashing out, Saturn asks you to set clearer expectations and restructure roles. Advice: be direct, set boundaries, and lead by example. Saturn respects responsibility and rewards those who step up without ego. 7. Planting new seeds. Patience required if you're trying to launch a business, start a new job, or even have a child. Saturn retrograde could slow things down. But this is not a no, it's a not yet. You may experience delays in paperwork, approvals, or momentum. Uncertainty about whether now is the right time, and need to revise your timeline or expectations. Example, you were planning to start your own design firm in September, but licensing issues, funding gaps, or emotional readiness may push the launch to early 2026. Advice: use the delay wisely. What you build now, if done with care, will stand strong for years to come. Summary table. Saturn retrograde on August 2025 to February 2026 for Virgo area. What to expect, how to navigate children and dependents' continued duties, but lighter emotionally. Accept help, breathe, trust time. Romantic relationships, healing past wounds, reconnection possible. Mature communication, no rushing. Finances, costs linked to children, investments, leisure. Budget wisely, avoid risky ventures. Creativity, creative block or slow return of inspiration. Commit to old projects. Be patient. Emotional health, inner peace improves with mindfulness. Use spiritual tools. Practice forgiveness. Team and leadership challenges with staff or assistants. Set clear expectations. Review structure. New ventures, delays in launches, or bold moves. Refine plans. Don't rush the timeline. Key phases in this retrograde cycle: August 23rd to September 15th, 2025. Buried emotional patterns and old responsibilities resurface. October to November 2025. Tensions with dependents or romantic partners may peak. Important conversations occur. December 2025 to January 2026. Emotional clarity arrives. Old wounds begin to heal. You restructure creative goals. February 2026. Saturn begins preparing to go direct. You start seeing the long-term benefit of all your effort. Final words. The grace and discipline. Dear Virgo, Saturn retrograde is not here to punish you. It's here to show you how far you've come and to help you build something more lasting and authentic. You are often the one who keeps everything running. But during this transit, the universe whispers, you deserve joy too. But first, make space for it. Let go of guilt. Honor your responsibilities, but not at the cost of your inner light. Because when Saturn leaves this part of your chart in 2026, what it will leave behind is resilience, wisdom, and peace, all built with your own two hands.